God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. And Mario Lopez, host of Access Hollywood, 1. All right. No surprise in this godless town.
Is Hollywood facing God's wrath? The Golden Globes made headlines for its blatant blasphemy and for mocking God.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my God, oh my God. And the acceptance speeches have been on fire.
But it wasn't just the acceptance speeches that were on fire. Just days after the Golden Globes, Hollywood itself was on fire, literally. Now, people are starting to think that the LA wildfires, which have already destroyed thousands and thousands of acres of land and property, might actually be God's punishment. So, is it? What's even wilder? Just recently on his podcast, Joe Rogan actually predicted that this will happen. So was it just a coincidence or something bigger?
One day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean, and there's not a thing we can do about it.
I can't be the only one who thinks the timing is kind of weird, right? The Golden Globes mocks faith, and then Hollywood is hit with some of the worst wildfires we've seen in years. And Joe Rogan's eerie prediction? Y'all better sit back for this one, because we've got a lot to get into here. Okay, so basically, Hollywood has been stirring up some trouble lately with how they're portraying religion in movies and shows. But it's nothing new because, let's be honest, Hollywood has a long history of mocking God.
I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. If it was up to him, Caesar Milan would be up here with that damn dog. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now!
Popular comedy shows have been roasting religious figures, and some folks aren't happy about it. It's basically a whole debate about where to draw the line between comedy and disrespecting people's beliefs. You know, freedom of speech and all that, but it's definitely getting people talking. I can't stop thinking about how weirdly connected everything feels right now. You got the Golden Globes, where it felt like Hollywood was going out of its way to poke fun at faith. The jokes? Not just edgy, some of them crossed a line that had a lot of people calling them out. Fast forward, and now wildfires are tearing through LA like something out of an apocalyptic movie. Except, it's not a movie. It's a real-life disaster. Is it all just a coincidence? Or is there more going on here?
Were incredible in Dune. Oh, woke up for all of your scenes. You were what a year you've had. Glenn, couch tots, and you'll go, oh, that was before that. Moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions.
Mocking God and using his name as a cuss word is nothing new for Hollywood. But less than 48 hours after the Golden Globes blasphemy, Hollywood was on fire.
Tonight, a new fire breaking out late this evening in the Hollywood Hills. Who would have ever thought this? Los Angeles is on fire.
What really got me was Joe Rogan's recent podcast. He had comedian Sam Morrill on, and they got into this intense conversation about wildfires. Rogan shared a story about a firefighter who told him straight up if the wind hits just right, a fire could start in LA and burn all the way to the ocean. Imagine that, a fire that is unstoppable. And it's not just talk. Rogan's been through evacuations himself because of fires near his home. He's lived it. So when he shares something like this, you can't help but take it seriously.
One day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean, and there's not a fucking thing we can do about it.
Here's where it gets even more interesting. People are starting to draw connections. Could these fires be some kind of wake-up call? Something spiritual even? I mean, it's not the first time people have wondered if things like this happen for a reason. Whether you believe in divine intervention or just chalk it up to bad timing, it's hard not to notice the overlap. But the thing is, wildfires in California aren't rare. But this?
First appeared in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood west of downtown Los Angeles around 10:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. In just 20 minutes, a flicker exploded into a 200-acre monster, fanned by 80-mile-per-hour winds.
This feels different. Maybe it's because it's happening right after a major cultural moment where faith was openly mocked. Maybe it's because Rogan's warning was so eerily spot on. Either way, it's got people talking and thinking. And if you think it's only religious nutters and mad hatters who believe God has a hand in these fires, and that it's punishment for Hollywood mocking him, a lot of people have been asking the same question. Where's the rain?
What would fix the fire problem really quick? Any idea?
I'm not sure.
Shh. I don't really know the answer.
What about rain?
I didn't think about that.
Rain would certainly help.
Rain, yes, definitely. Yes.
Who's in charge of the rain?
Oh, I don't know. God, I guess.
God.
Why do you think he's withholding rain from Hollywood at the moment?
A good downpour of rain would no doubt help fight the raging LA fires, but so far, there's no rain. And Los Angeles gets most of its rain between November and April. So where's their rain now? And just for interest's sake, whether you believe in the Bible or not, guess what it says about rain. In Chronicles, the Bible says, "If I close the sky so there is no rain, and if my people who are called by my name humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land." Let's be real. This isn't the first time Hollywood has ruffled feathers when it comes to faith. Remember Ricky Gervais hosting the Golden Globes in 2020? His jokes had people either laughing or cringing, especially when he took shots at religion.
Come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and f*** off, okay?
Or how about the 2013 Oscars with Seth MacFarlane? That year was packed with humor that didn't sit well with everyone. Hollywood seems to have this habit of walking right up to the line and then gleefully crossing it. But here's the twist. Some folks are convinced that these constant jabs at faith come with consequences. Look at what's happening now. The wildfires aren't just devastating. They're happening at a time when people are already upset about the disrespect they saw at the Golden Globes. It's easy to shrug it off as superstition, but when you start to notice a pattern, it's hard not to at least think about it. I'm not saying Hollywood's jokes caused the fires, but maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that mocking deeply held beliefs can stir up more than just controversy. Sometimes it feels like the universe has a way of reminding us to tread carefully. Let's talk about facts. California wildfires are a serious problem. The current fires in LA, they've already burned through over 50,000 acres, and it's not slowing down. Thousands of people have been forced to evacuate, and firefighters are struggling to keep up because the conditions are just brutal. Dry air, hot temperatures, and those infamous Santa Ana winds. Experts have been warning about this for years. Climate change is making wildfires worse, plain and simple. A report from CAL FIRE shows a 25% increase in large-scale fires over the last decade. Add in things like poor land management and urban sprawl, and you've got the perfect recipe for disaster. And then there's Joe Rogan's podcast. His story about a firefighter predicting a fire that could burn through LA to the ocean? It's not some far-fetched idea. Fires like the Woolsey Fire in 2018 proved how quickly things can spiral out of control. That one burned nearly 100,000 acres and forced thousands to flee. So while the timing of these wildfires might feel symbolic or eerie, the science behind them is very real. It's a wake-up call, whether you see it as a natural disaster, a spiritual message, or both. Alright, let's dig into this final layer. The wildfires, the Golden Globes controversy, and Joe Rogan's podcast all seem to weave together into something bigger than just coincidence. It's as if these separate events are pieces of a puzzle, begging us to take a closer look. Let's start with the fires. We know California has always had a wildfire problem, but these recent ones are on a whole new level. Over 50,000 acres have burned, and firefighters are working non-stop to contain the chaos. The Santa Ana winds aren't helping. They're making the flames even more unpredictable. It's terrifying to think how fragile life in LA can be when nature decides to strike. Now, mix that with the Golden Globes. The mocking of faith wasn't subtle. It was front and center. People laughed, sure, but others felt uneasy. When you publicly ridicule something that many hold sacred, it's bound to stir emotions. It's not just about whether the jokes were funny, it's about the message being sent. And when you pair that with a natural disaster like this, it's hard not to wonder if there's a deeper message we're all missing. This brings us back to Joe Rogan. His podcast isn't just entertaining, it often hits on real, pressing issues. When he mentioned the potential for a wildfire to wipe out LA, it felt like a wake-up call. And now, just weeks later, we're seeing a scenario that's eerily close to his warning. Rogan isn't a prophet, he's just sharing what he knows from experts and his own life experiences. But the timing? That's what has people talking. So what's the takeaway here? Are these just random events strung together by our need to find meaning, or is there something more profound at play? Personally, I think it's a bit of both. Sure, wildfires are a natural disaster influenced by climate change and human activity, but the timing of these fires with the Golden Globes controversy, it makes you think. Whether you see this as divine intervention, a karmic lesson, or just an eerie coincidence, It's a reminder that our actions, big and small, can ripple out in ways we don't always understand. It's a call to be mindful, to respect what others hold dear, and to take the warnings around us seriously. As LA grapples with the wildfires, we're left wondering what lessons these events are teaching us. Is it time for Hollywood to rethink its approach to faith, or are we overanalyzing? Honestly, it's hard to ignore how connected everything feels right now. Whether you're spiritual or not, there's something about the timing that hits differently. It's like the universe is nudging us to pay attention. What do you think about the connection between these events? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.